What is up, investors? Jason here. So keep in mind this video is for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. But what I want to be talking about is how we're seeing so much red in the entire stock market and how this is especially hurting the entire EV space. I'm looking over at all these EV stocks that I'm following and the ones that I'm invested into, and what I see is a whole lot of red, primarily in the ones that I'm very bullish on, like NIO, Xpeng, Tesla. I'm seeing a lot of red in those stocks. So I just want to do a bit of covering in this video, talk about my price predictions that I have in some of these, and just give my overall opinion. So as we get to it, if you guys don't mind, please do me a huge favor. Please be sure to smash, destroy, annihilate, or simply just gently press that like button, because that helps me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm, helps spread the video to more people that might find it interesting, and subscribe if you have not already. All right, guys, now let's get to it. So every EV stock that I'm following is in the red at the time I'm making this video right now. So it doesn't really matter if it's Tesla or if it's someone that's been doing really bad, like Lordstown Motors, ticker symbol RIDE, Workhorse. The ones that I really like a lot too, NIO, Xpeng, Li Auto, they're in the red, and they're also down quite a bit. We can see many of them are down a good amounts of money here, even like ones like Archimoto, ticker symbol FUB, and even some of the more SPAC ones, even the newer SPAC ones that we're following. So there's multiple things that are affecting the entire market. So that has something to do with why we're seeing EV stocks down. That has to do with inflation concerns, treasury yield concerns, and even pandemic concerns. We're seeing numbers start increasing a little bit, and that's also creating a concern as far as the future of the economy. Maybe some businesses might be affected here in the distant future from that. So that's kind of trickling down into other things. Now, as far as the EV space goes, though, directly, we're seeing a big effect of that happening to do with what we're seeing with Tesla. Tesla has their own drama going on right now with Solar City, when they merged with Solar City, and Elon Musk right now is having to testify in court over that. So if we see the biggest dog in the game having some issues, we're going to see that also trickle down into other companies as well. And then we have the whole issue that happened with Didi when they went public a couple weeks ago. Now, Didi is a Chinese ride-sharing company that's invested by Uber, but the concern is that when they went public and they had their offering, there was details that were left out, and it creates a concern over the way that Chinese companies can sell their stocks here in the United States. So then that creates an issue for companies like NIO, Xpeng, Li Auto. So there's multiple things going on right now in the EV space. So the biggest ones, the biggest players in the game, they have a bit of drama that is unfolding right now at this moment. And then there's also EV companies like Lordstown Motors and Workhorse that have had a lot of flags raised recently, and the CEOs of both those companies over the past few months have both stepped down. And that's also another thing that is affecting the entire EV space. So when you see multiple companies having a whole lot of issues, then that's going to be dragging other companies down as well. And all this drama is also creating a whole lot of short interest in the entire EV space. Many of these EV stocks are very highly shorted, and that's another thing that is also dragging down these stocks. Now, as far as the drama going on with Tesla over the time that they bought Solar City, now this was something that happened back in 2016. Being a shareholder of Tesla, I didn't have a problem with this, but some people do. And anyways, as far as the whole legal proceedings here, Musk at the time owned a 22% stake in both Tesla and Solar City, which was founded by his cousin. The Tesla shareholders want Musk to be ordered to return the value of the deal to Tesla. So obviously Elon Musk was awarded more shares of Tesla because of the fact that he had so many shares of Solar City, and that created an issue with him basically buying more shares of Tesla that route. And it depends on what the value of Solar City was even worth at the time, is another question that people have. But in my opinion, there was a lot of essentialness to them actually buying Solar City. I think that was actually something that was very smart of them to buy, because the whole solar roof, the whole solar charging, there's many aspects to that business deal that can really benefit Tesla, because it gives them the abilities to call themselves also a energy company. They're not just a car maker, they're an energy company. So I think, in my opinion, that deal really worked out well for Tesla, but there's still a lot of questions and concerns over it, and that's the drama that Tesla has. Now, as far as the messy situation that's going on with Lordstown Motors that's affecting their stock a lot, Their situation's really messy because the CEO had stepped down, and other people involved in the company have stepped down from them. At the same time, there's new people that have taken the position of management that is kind of there to basically pick up the pieces that are all messed up, and the company's having financial problems and other situations going on. And yeah, they're under investigation by the U.S. Justice Department. The Wall Street Journal reported, citing people familiar with the matter. The criminal probe of the electric truck developer by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York in Manhattan is in the early stages, according to the report. A Lordstown Motors spokesperson told the Journal the company is committed to cooperating with any investigation and looks forward to focusing on production with its new leadership team. Now, there's also been short reports that have also been pretty damaging to Lordstown Motors, but this was a stock that people had invested into. They really thought that this truck was going to be coming out and everything was going to be a good situation there. And now just a lot of things were unfolding with it, and the stock has gone from a high of around $31 back in February to now being a stock that's valued at around $8 a share. Now, to talk about the Chinese EV stocks, NIO, Xpeng, Li Auto, as I was saying, there is a problem that's been going on with Didi, with ticker symbol DIDI, the ride-sharing company, that their stock, the way it came out of the market and having issues, and then having all these restrictions by the Chinese government, and putting a lot of concerns on Chinese companies in general that are raising money here in the United States, that does create an issue with these EV stocks from China. Now, if there's any concern raised by Didi's situation, it's that the future Chinese government actions could limit NIO's ability to raise cash from U.S. investors. That wouldn't be ideal, but the company has other avenues to raise cash, including a likely future listing on Hong Kong's exchange. In the meantime, NIO has plenty of cash on hand, a strong order book, and new models coming next year. Now, I don't think that we really will be seeing any sort of problems with these three companies, NIO, Xpeng, Li Auto, because they are pretty consistent and do follow rules, and they keep the investors updated every single month what their delivery numbers are, and they also keep everybody up to date with their quarterly reports. These aren't companies that are saying that they're highly profitable companies. They're pretty legit about their reporting, about them saying that, they're not out of the water yet, but they're getting better and better numbers as more and more vehicles are being delivered. So I think that there's still plenty of catalysts for those companies, and I really think that they're ones to stay. I think that they have a lot of abilities, and especially with them actually expanding into other markets, like we've heard about NIO expanding into the European markets, and we have Xpeng just recently launched in the Hong Kong exchange. So there's a lot going on there, and I think that there's a lot of benefiting factors in the future. We just kind of have to wait it out a bit and see what happens. Now, as far as many of these other EV plays here, Fisker, they got some catalysts in the works. I mean, they're planning on building vehicles possibly in Wisconsin, so that could be a good piece of information for them. We have for CCIV, who's going to be merging with Lucid Motors. That's coming up really soon. Probably a little bit of profit taking also going on, but there's still great news that has been coming out about Lucid Motors. I mean, they're getting ready to start shipping out vehicles here very soon. They've actually said that they're more on track than they recently announced, saying that they can probably start putting out deliveries much earlier than they had actually expected, or a couple days earlier than they had originally expected. So really good news coming out of that, but we are seeing some pullback. But this one is getting ready to finish its merger and be a fully listed, publicly traded company under Lucid Motors. So that's great stuff there. And just these other companies, say like Plug Power, for example. Plug's seen their stock price have a whole lot of pullback, but many catalysts in the work for Plug. There was a lot of bullish activity that got this stock up, but a lot of catalysts, a lot of expansions into the European markets, expansions into the airline industry, many different things going on Plug. I've covered more of this stock, seeing it come down in price. Actually, in my opinion, this is one that I do like. This is one that I have no problem picking up more shares of. And other stocks here, we see EVs hurting a bit. We see the EV pullback, but it's going to affect companies like ChargePoint and Blink Charging. And then just looking at the other stocks, kind of the same thing. We're seeing the SPAC market have some issues, and then also stocks like Archimoto, that's kind of tied to that whole Reddit thing that's going on, and the short interest. Very a lot of short interest in Arcimoto, but still a company that I think that has a whole lot of potential. I think that there's a lot of great possibilities with Arcimoto. So, anyways, I just kind of made this video. I know it's a bit all over the place, and just talking about a bunch of random things, but I just wanted to cover a whole lot out there, as we're seeing the whole industry having some issues. Some of the companies have their flags that are raised, and then other companies, a lot of great things still going on with them. So we're just seeing some pullback in the entire industry. Now, just to kind of just sum this video up, a lot of the price predictions that I made on these stocks in previous videos, they all still apply. I think that we could easily see a company like NIO going to $100 by the end of 2021, in my personal opinion. And same thing was with like companies like Xpeng and Li Auto. I think that there's still a lot of positives there that are going to really help increase those companies. Tesla's one that I think that is always going to be succeeding. I think that there's always still going to be possibilities there with Tesla, as well as Plug Power. I think that company also has a whole lot of catalyst. And then I'm very bullish on to see what happens with Lucid Motors when the whole merger is complete. So there's still plenty of things out there in the entire EV space that has a whole lot of positives, and just these temporary negatives right now that are affecting this space. Nothing that I'm very concerned about. I think that this is something that will just get better and progress from here on out. So anyways, with that being said, what do you guys think about the whole EV space right now? What do you think about these stocks dropping in price? Is there anybody out there that is concerned? Anybody out there that has been doing a little bit of selling off, or anybody out there that is just buying this dip? So with that being said, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. New videos coming out on the channel all the time. And also check out these videos here if you guys are interested. As you know, I post all the time.